Salamun alaikum, and welcome to another episode of Quranology Notes, a program on the Quranology Institute's YouTube channel. Today I will be talking about the concept of Islam from Quran. But before I do that, I should probably explain to you that yes, indeed, one of my bookshelves has collapsed. It's my fault. I kept on stuffing books because I keep buying books, and I kept stuffing them until it could bear the weight no longer, and it just collapsed. And I'm hoping that I shall get a bookshelf possibly this week or next week. In the meantime, as you can see, my books are in a pile behind me. Well, part of my books. The section which went down was mostly fiction rather than the important non-fiction academic books, which are still standing for now anyway. Today I shall be speaking about the concept of Islam in Quran, and this discussion was something I went through last week, where in a debate a traditionalist Muslim said to me, yeah, okay, well, Allah has said, Inna Dina indallahi al-Islam, verily the religion in the sight of Allah is Islam. Okay, and if you read it in that way, then you may come to the conclusion that indeed Allah has prescribed only one religion, and that religion is His religion, Islam. But what if you said, well, actually it could be the Shiite Islam, or the Sufi Islam, or the Wahhabi version of Sunnism, or the Qurani version of Islam? Anyone could put his Islam into that. So that's not really much of an argument. But here's the thing though, he did not quote the full ayah. And he did not even actually quote half of the ayah. He quoted a phrase, a sentence from the ayah, from the verse. And that's not enough. So if you look at the ayah, it is chapter 3 verse 19, Ali Imran verse 19, and it says, Inna Dina indallahi al-Islam. So it begins with that. But notice it says, Inna Dina indallah. So verily the religion in the sight of Allah is al-Islam. Al-Islam. But when you translate it, they don't say, verily the religion in the sight of Allah is the Islam or al-Islam. They just say Islam. Why? Because the is very inconvenient for them. The this word al, this particle al, connects it back to the previous verse. And the previous verse is verse 18, and it says, Shahid Allahu annahu la ilaha illa huwa. Allah bears witness that there is no God but He. Wal malaika, and so do the angels. I'm not going to discuss what angels means now. Wa ulul ilm, the people of knowledge, those of knowledge. Qa'iman bil qist. Now here I have to thank my Quran discussion partner Hind, because Hind reminded me that it's qa'iman, not qa'imun in plural. Qa'iman is a singular, one who establishes justice, qa'iman. And here it shows that Allah, the angels, and those with knowledge are in unison in establishing justice. And that is how we bear witness to the oneness of Allah. So from there itself we can see the connection of al-Islam and justice. And you think about it logically, when you establish justice in society, will you not see peace? Of course you will. And that is what Islam means. Islam, linguistically speaking, is the science of peace, the bringing of peace. It comes from the word salam. And salam in Quran is a very emphasized word. I would say if you look at chapter 37, you will see the Quranic personalities, and they are being rescued from danger, from harm, and given success and peace. And Allah says salam on them. Salam ala Nuh fil alameen. Peace be upon Nuh among the nations. You see? So here you can see that Islam is something universal. It is not something which is localized to Muhammad. Okay, now let's go to chapter 3, the same chapter, but verses 83 to 85, where you will see what I call the Islam bracket. There are two verses containing the word Islam, and they bracket verse 84. So 83 and 85 bracket 84, and it tells you what Islam is. Okay, let's have a look. It says, أَفَغَيْرَ دِينِ اللَّهِ يَبْغُونَ. So, do they seek other than the deen of Allah? Deen of Allah. So this is the ultimate form, the deen of Allah. While whoever is man, not who, what, whoever is in the heavens and the earth are at peace with Allah. Ta'a aw karha. Ta'a is willingly obedient. Karha is unwillingly. So if you think about it, everyone in the heavens and the earth, all of us in the human sphere, we have to be at peace with the laws of Allah. Now, let's say if you are not happy with the fact that you have to, taking sugar is bad for you. You're not happy with it. But if you don't make peace with it, you will still have to make peace with it. Why? Simply because it is a physical law to which you are subject. And that is Deen Allah. Deen Allah is something which brings us peace. Now, the choice is whether we take it willingly or unwillingly. Ta'a aw karha. And the ayah finishes, وَإِلَيْهِ يُرْجَعُونَ. And to Him, all of us are tending towards. Because we cannot escape the grip of Allah. Allah grips us through His laws. We are physical beings who are subject to these physical laws. So we must be at peace or aslam to these laws. Now comes a very interesting verse, which as I said is bracketed by verse 83 and 84, and it tells us the universality of Islam. It says, Kul, say, or have that philosophy if you like. Amanna billah. Amanna billah. We believe in Allah. Wama unzila alayna. And what is descended on us. Now, think about it. We believe in Allah and what is descended on us. It doesn't say and in what is descended upon us. So it didn't say Amanna billah wa bima unzila ilayna. It says just wa ma unzila ilayna. Alayna, sorry. So this shows that belief in Allah comes with believing in the tanzil, what is descended upon us. And how do we achieve that? Through Alif Lam Mim, which also opens this chapter. So if you have a look at verses 1 to maybe about verses 7 or 8, it explains to you this process. As well as Baqarah, but early Baqarah also explains this process. And then it continues, وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَعِيلَ وَإِسْحَاقَ وَيَعْقُوبَ وَالْأَسْبَاطِ. So Allah is telling you, we are believing in what is descended on Ibrahim and Ismail and Ishaq, etc., etc. Why? Because whatever these people have gone through, that is Islam. And you'll see it at the beginning, at the end of the ayah. وَمَا أُوتِيَ مُوسَى. And what is given to Musa, وَعِيسَى, وَالنَّبِيِّينَ. You see? So Allah is telling you, this is what is given to Moses and Jesus, etc. And then it says, لَا نُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ. We do not separate between any of them. Meaning, whatever is given to these people, they are giving you the totality of what is Islam. So that is the universality of Islam. Islam is not just the manifestation given by Muhammad. It is the universality which is captured in Quran. And the ayah ends in a very, as I said, very, very poignant way. It says, وَنَحْنُ لَهُ مُسْلِمُونَ. And to Him we are Muslimun. To Allah, we are Muslimun. That shows that if you want to achieve that level, that Muslim level, then you have to follow Ibrahim, Ismail, etc., etc. It's very universal. And if you read the story of Ibrahim, you can see how universal it is. He is Imam to mankind. It's not just a religious movement there. And then verse 85 finishes off by saying, whoever follows al-Islam as their deen, then never will be accepted of him. So traditionalists love to say, oh, see, this shows that Islam is the only way, etc. But if you read the context, it's telling you about these personalities and their universal values. And if you do not follow these universal values, which are set by God, what happens is you will be one of the losers. And you can see, I mean, ironically, those people, the Muslim nations themselves, they claim to be following Islam, but they are sadly the losers in this world. Why? Because it's in chaos. Islam to them is something by name only, whereas these are the principles of Islam, the principles of the science of peace. And that is what Islam is supposed to be, the science of peace, rather than just a name and you clothe it in religious garb and you say, okay, well, that's Islam. No. Islam is something real. It is grounded in reality. So with that, I close this video. And I must say, there's so much more I could have brought to this video. I just didn't have the time. So I will expand on it, inshallah, in the next few episodes. Many thanks for viewing, and I'll see you again next week, inshallah.